can read. You can see the screen?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji, you can see.
Okay, that's good. What happened? Next step. Okay, at least I'm ready with this setup. Radhika Mataji, yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 23, Devahūti's Lamentation. Text 1. Maitreya continued. After the departure of her parents, the chaste woman Devahūti, who could understand the desires of her husband, served him constantly with great love, as Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, serves her husband. O Vidura, Devahūti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love, and with sweet words. Working sanely and diligently, she pleased her very powerful husband, giving up all lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. The daughter of Manu, who was fully devoted to her husband, looked upon him as greater even than Providence. Thus she expected great blessings from him. Having served him for a long time, she grew weak and emaciated due to her religious observances. Seeing her condition, Kardama, the foremost of celestial sages, was overcome with compassion and spoke to her in a voice choked with great love. Kardama Muni said, O respectful daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, today I am very much pleased with you for your great devotion and most excellent loving service. Since the body is so dear to embodied beings, I am astonished that you have neglected your own body to use it on my behalf. Kardama Muni continued, I have achieved the blessings of the Lord in discharging my own religious life of austerity, meditation, and Krishna consciousness. Although you have not yet experienced these achievements, which are free from fear and lamentation, I shall offer them all to you because you are engaged in my service. Now just look at them. I am giving you the transcendental vision to see how nice they are. Kardama Muni continued, what is the use of enjoyments other than the Lord's grace? All material achievements are subject to be annihilated simply by a movement of the eyebrows of Lord Vishnu. the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By your principles of devotion to your husband, you have achieved and can enjoy transcendental gifts very rarely obtained by persons proud of aristocracy and material possessions. Upon hearing the speaking of her husband, who excelled in knowledge of all kinds of transcendental science, innocent Devahūti was very satisfied. Her smiling face shining with a slightly bashful glance, she spoke in a choked voice because of great humility and love. Shri Devahūti said, "My dear husband, O best of Brahmanas, I know that you have achieved perfection and are the master of all infallible mystic powers because you are under the protection of Yogamaya, the transcendental nature. But you once made a promise that your bodily union should now fulfill, since children are a great quality for a chaste woman who has a glorious husband." Devahūti continued, "My dear Lord, I am struck by excited emotion for you. Therefore, kindly make what arrangement must be made according to the scriptures so that my skinny body, emaciated through unsatisfied passion, may be rendered fit for you. Also, my Lord, please think of a suitable house for this purpose." Maitreya continued, "O Vidura, seeking to please his beloved wife, the sage Kardama exercised his yogic power and instantly produced an aerial mansion that could travel at his will. It was a wonderful structure, bedecked with all sorts of jewels, adorned with pillars of precious stones, and capable of yielding whatever one desired. It was equipped with every form of furniture and wealth, which tended to increase in the course of time. The castle was fully equipped with all necessary paraphernalia, and it was pleasing in all seasons. It was decorated all around with flags, festoons, and artistic work of variegated colors. It was further embellished with wreaths of charming flowers that attracted sweetly humming bees and with tapestries of linen, silk, and various other fabrics. The palace looked charming, with beds, coaches, fans, and seats, all separately arranged in 7 stories. Its beauty was enhanced by artistic engravings here and there on the walls. The floor was of emerald with coral daisies. The palace was very beautiful, with its coral thresholds at the entrances of its doors, bedecked with diamonds. Gold pinnacles crowned it domes of sapphire. With the choicest rubies set in its diamond walls, it appeared as though possessed of eyes. It was furnished with wonderful canopies and greatly valuable gates of gold. Here and there in that palace were multitudes of live swans and pigeons, as well as artificial swans and pigeons, so lifelike that the real swans rose above them again and again, thinking them live birds like themselves. Thus the palace vibrated with the sounds of these birds. The castle had pleasure grounds, resting chambers, bedrooms, and inner and outer yards designed with an eye to comfort. All this caused astonishment to the sage himself. When he saw Devahūti looking at the gigantic opulent palace with a displeased heart, Kardama Muni could understand her feelings because he could study the heart of anyone. Thus he personally addressed his wife as follows: "My dear Devahūti, you look very much afraid. First bathe in lake Bindu Sarovara, created by Lord Vishnu himself, which can grant all the desires of a human being, and then mount this airplane." The lotus eyed Devahūti accepted the order of her husband. Because of her dirty dress and the locks of matted hair on her head, she did not look very attractive. Her body was coated with a thick layer of dirt, and breasts were discolored. She dove, however, into the lake which contained the sacred waters of the Saraswati. In a house inside the lake, she saw 1,000 girls, and all in the prime of youth and fragrant like lotuses. Seeing her, the damsel suddenly rose and said with folded hands, "We are your maidservants. Tell us what we can do for you." The girls, being very respectful to Devahūti, brought her forth, and after bathing her with valuable oils and ointments, they gave her fine, new spotless clothes to cover her body. Then they decorated her with very excellent and valuable jewels, which shone brightly. Next, they offered her food containing all good qualities and a sweet, inebriating drink called ashavam. Then, in a mirror, she beheld her own reflection. Her body was completely freed from all dirt, and she was adorned with a garland. She dressed in unsullied robes and decorated with auspicious marks of tilaka, she was served very respectfully by the maids. Her entire body, including her head, was completely bathed and she was decorated all over with ornaments. She wore a special necklace with a locket. There were bangles on her wrists and tinkling anklets of gold about her ankles. About her hips, she wore a girdle of gold set with numerous jewels, and she was further adorned with a precious pearl necklace and auspicious substances. Her countenance shone with beautiful teeth and charming eyebrows. Her eyes, distinguished by lovely moist corners, defeated the beauty of the lotus buds. Her face was surrounded by dark curling tresses.
Hare
When she
Krishna.
thought,
Yeah,
yeah, Hare Krishna
let's try
Prabhu.
to, yeah,
Yeah,
thank you very much, Radhika Mataji. Let's try to cover
thank you.
till here. And if
Yeah, thank you.
yes, then we can proceed forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you very much. How did you find reading this part of Bhagavatam, this chapter?
It's nice to show how the relation between a husband and wife has to be so respectful, and in response to Devahuti's so much of service, he can understand and read her mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thanks, Mataji. Yeah. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथामहिं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतापदकमलान् श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललित श्रीविशाख अन्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Okay, thank you very much once again. And yeah, we are coming, or actually we are going through very nice mm, aspects of the lessons or teachings of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And this is very nice that we are discussing about something related to Grihastha ashram here. And I think we very much appreciate or value the lessons also from here. Yeah, we know that it was Swayambhuva Manu who came and offered his daughter Devahūti to Kardama Muni, and Kardama Muni very well accepted. Of course, it was not for his own pleasure. What is the proof for that? The proof is that after the goal of Grihastha life is achieved, yeah, he wanted to take up immediately the service of the Lord, which is mm, superior in all aspects. So he already told to Swayambhu Manu after begetting children, and then he would leave. Yeah, and I think end of this chapter or next chapter, we will it is glorified the greatness of Kardama Muni that he showed. I think in this chapter that how does an ideal husband and an ideal son uh, mm, should behave. So we are talking here about ideal husband, and in that connection, Maitreya Muni is saying that after the departure of parents, chaste wife of Kardama Muni, Devahūti, um, uh, understood the desires of her husband and served him constantly with great love. And the example given here is Bhavani. Hmm. Bhavani is the wife of Lord Bhav, who is Lord Shiva. Hmm. Bhavani or Parvati, the daughter of king of Himalayas, selected Lord Shiva, uh, who appears to be just like a beggar. Yeah, so if you see, the ornaments that Lord Shiva has are not typical made of gold or platinum or silver or all kind of jewels. Yeah, his what is he called? Nagabhushanam. Yeah, what is his necklace is a snake, uh, which can very easily scare us. Yeah, just imagine if someone is going to a party and he wears a snake around his neck and then thinking, yeah, it's a so cool thing. Then yeah. So Lord Shiva is so great personality that I mean, later in this purport also there is further glorification of the great personality. So he appears like a beggar. In spite of her being a princess, she undertook all kinds of tribulations to associate with Lord Shiva, who did not even have a house. Oh no, no, this is a no, but definitely a no, right? If someone doesn't has a house, there is no question of marriage. Yeah, the parents are excellently checking what are the assets that the boy has, how many acres of land he has, how many buildings, or how big is the building, huh? What kind of material comfort can he grant to our daughter? So that is the criteria that the parents of the daughter see, and not only that, the daughters or the girls these days are also definitely thinking, yes, social security is very, very, very important, and without a good house, how can I be maintained? Hmm? Either take an agreement from the guy before marriage that okay, after our marriage we should have our dream house, or can you tell me already, did you book a flat or a apartment or a house or a villa or a mansion already registered on your name, huh? And then we can tie up, yeah, a kind of a deal upfront. Mm. So that in later stages, if it doesn't happen, then keep on bogging. It is something like I come across a real situation where the boy has promised something to the girl, and but life is not always how we plan. But so that happened to the same guy, and every day the girl brings back to those promises that he made before marriage, saying, "Hey, you said you will settle there, you will do this, and then, and finally, yeah, the married life is a hellish life for them, and they took divorce. Yeah, anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's not the main theme again, but I thought the importance for us, Vedic way of living can always help us to appreciate Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and live in the lines of Bhagavatam. That's why I'm spending little time by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, who has very nicely elaboratedly given the purports or commentaries. I hope everyone is okay. And then what is that? But was sitting underneath a tree and passing his time in meditation. And this is yeah, maybe if no house, maybe we can adjust a temporary house. But what if a person is always meditating, he's always on his own? After all, I have married him because I have so many dreams that I want to travel. I want to go for a Europe trip. I want to go for a US trip. I want to go for a um, what do you call beaches and whatnot. Yeah. So, or even if not, yeah, maybe financially is not possible or time is not possible, but at least at home, come on, he should give full time to me, keep on uh, mm, exchanging conversations with me. What is he doing? Meditation? He's doing japa. He's doing 2 hours of japa. When will he have time for me? He's reading Bhagavatam. When will he have time for me? He's reading Bhagavad Gita, hearing, going to discourses, traveling to temples. Um, if he's on his own, yeah, the girls, it's very difficult. Although Bhavani was the daughter of a very great king, she used to serve Lord Shiva just like a poor woman. This is very nice quality. It is like we typically have this, right? That after marriage, the wife and husband should mix like water and milk. In the end, we don't know that everything appears to be one. Of course, here milk is the husband and water is wife. Yeah, doesn't mean that okay, water doesn't has its value. Without water, we cannot survive. Water also has its own importance, but how the water mixes with milk is like in the end we see milk. It's not that after water mixes with milk, then we see more water. Of course, it depends on the quality of water. Oh, so quality of milk. Sorry, the quantity of the milk. But indeed, still, the water is no more water. It looks like, yeah, at least what we call um, diluted milk, not diluted water anymore. So anyway, so the qualities or the nature of the women should be that she amalgamates the character, qualities, and the nature of the husband. Yeah, who did even was yeah daughter, emperor. Yeah, so we have meditate. Sorry, they were daughter. Swayambhu Manu, yet she preferred to accept Kardama Muni as her husband. She served him with great love and affection. Therefore, she is designated her as Sadhvi. Yeah, in this verse, no, in this verse, the addressing of Devahūti is in these 3 verses. Yeah, not only this one verse. There are different characteristics that are glorified of Devahūti. One is definitely Sadhvi. Sadhvi means a chaste, faithful wife. Her rare example is the ideal of Vedic civilization. Every woman is expected to be as good and chaste as Devahūti or Bhavani. Yeah, and then Prabhupada explains about in today's Hindu society what is happening. The unmarried girls are still taught about Lord Shiva with the idea that they may get husbands like him. Why? Because Lord Shiva, yeah, he is ideal husband, not in the sense of riches or sense gratification, but because he is the greatest of all devotees. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. Shambhu or Lord Shiva is the ideal Vaishnava. He constantly meditates upon Lord Ram. Yeah, in Vishnu Sahasranam. Gaurav Prabhu, that day you were asking, na? Yeah. And this is in Vishnu Sahasranam. It is said. It is also brought, not said. There is this Parvati Devi is asking Lord Shiva, okay, oh Lord, oh Lord, what are you doing all the time? You are yeah absorbed in yourself. Um, and then Lord Shiva said, oh beautiful face, Suruchira, so nice. Uh, I'm always chanting the name of Lord Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane. So in that connection, it is says that chanting one time Ram is equivalent to Sahasranama Tatim, chanting 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, which is Vishnu Sahasranam. So in that way, yeah, when one is chanting Ram, it is equivalent to one Ram is equivalent to one time full Vishnu Sahasranam recitation. But yeah, somehow we may have this inclination. Oh, Vishnu Sahasranam. It's having so nice vibrations. It has so greatly glorified Vishnu with every name of his. Yeah? So we may have, but in terms of result wise, if we see, If one takes to the chanting of Ram once, it is equivalent to the result of the chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. I don't know if Gaurav Prabhu, you are there in the call.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now you know this. Yep.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yep. And Lord Shiva was a Vaishnava, has a Vaishnava Sampradaya, which is also called Vishnu Swami Sampradaya or Rudra Sampradaya. Unmarried girls worship Lord Shiva so that they can expect a husband who is as good as a Vaishnava as he is. The girls are not taught to select a husband who is very rich or very opulent for material sense gratification. Rather, if a girl is fortunate enough to get a husband as good as Lord Shiva in devotional service, then her life becomes perfect. What is how can we understand this? Just imagine someone who is a very rich person, has good fame and name in the society because of his riches. Yeah, yeah. He's a jamindar, he is a collector, or he is a yeah. But if he has not developed good character, what is the result? That he will, rather than please the wife, he will use the wife. And when he is using the wife, it means that there is no pleasure, there is no purpose of a married life. And because of this, the wife is not happy and she is not successful. And this guy, because he is not satisfied with that unsatisfied wife, he will have his own affairs. And because of he having other affairs, she is even further more unsatisfied. And because of this unsatisfied condition, yeah, either she will become a black widow. This is what we see in the typical society today. I hope everyone knows who is a black widow. Yes?
No, Prabhuji, no. Sorry, Prabhuji, sorry.
Okay. Black widow is the one who plots the death of her husband, who kills, who kills her husband, either for, of course, for her own benefit or for, yeah, the tortures that she is going through. She want to teach a lesson, whatever can be reason. One who becomes a widow by plotting a death or a kill or a, what do you call? Yeah, killing her husband is called a black widow.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's very scary.
Hmm. Yeah, they are great heroines. If you just go and do black widows, then you'll find there are some who have married 10 times, which means cheated 10 times for making more money. Yeah. And who spent like 30 years in prison because, after all, after so many times, right, they cannot escape uh, the prison or, yeah. Anyway, again, not main topic, but what I want to say here is that the importance of harmonious married life, yeah, depends on not using principle, but pleasing principle. Yeah, the wife is dependent on the husband, and if the husband is a Vaishnava, then naturally she shares a devotional service of the husband because she renders him service. This is next principle. I mean, we are still in the first verse. I don't know how many verses we will go through, but I was also thinking that, yeah, a simple verse can take a full glass today, but let's still nevertheless go it on a brief note to keep it Bhagavatam, that we can read other aspect subjects also. So coming here, it's about that a Vaishnava. Yeah, so ideally, a girl should look for a Vaishnava, a one who is well versed in understanding the ultimate goal of life. A person who understands that, yeah, like in the example of Lord Shiva, yeah, Bhavani has, yeah, Parvati Dev has great uh, um, inclination to get married to him. Even Parvati's father, yeah, Himavan, yeah. So she arranged and he arranged the marriage, and why? Not because Lord Shiva is rich, yeah, but because Lord Shiva is great devotee, because he was always constantly absorbed in meditation, because he is unaffected by other things, just like, okay, carried away with, oh, okay, no. This reciprocation of service and love between husband and wife is the ideal of a householder's life. So, when we are talking about a grihastha life should be centered in service. Service means please. pleasing others. It is not like it is selfish, because I usually say this, that in India we have so many companies called services. Yeah, I think TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. Yeah, then Wipro Technologies, but Infosys. All these are categorized as service-based companies. What are they doing? They're serving. But ideally, yeah, this is what 10 years back or 15 years back I was questioning, is how can we call them a service company when they are taking money for what they are doing? Service, yeah, means what kind of service it is. Yeah? They're doing pakka business in the name of service, isn't it? Hmm? It is not that, okay, I'm doing everything for your pleasure, for your company's pleasure. No, you are making more profits in the name of services. So that is what is called using. Huh? So, but we are not talking. Even a wife and husband relation, there is a danger of it becoming a business, because I do this, you do that, you do that, I do this. So mm, we have 7 days a week, and these days you do this, I do that. An agreement. Rather, yeah, if it is on a based on a service rather than on an agreement, yeah, and love, yeah, when there is love, there is no agreement. Then that is called a ideal household life. Okay, let's go back. But this is only one quality of Devahūti that we were discussing. In the next two verses, there is even more. Yeah, yeah. Devahūti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, and these are two more qualities that are so praiseworthy of a wife. And here Devavati is saying that with control of senses, with love and with sweet words. What she did, she served. So in the service, how can we render service when we don't know how to do a service? On what are the principles? What should be the way of rendering service? Here, two words are very significant. Yeah, Vishrambhena, Vishrambhena and Gauravena. Gauravena, we know, respectful. Uh, Vishrambhena means with intimacy. It is considered that the husband is a very intimate friend. Yeah, the husband is very intimate friend. Therefore, the wife must render service just like an intimate friend. And at the same time, she must understand that the husband is superior in position. So both should be there. It is not just only intimate friend means we both are same. Usually friendship means it is amongst equals. Yeah, this is what we hear. Yes, intimate friendship is among equals, considering no one as above each other. But when we talk about this special, yeah, in the Grihastha ashram, it is not that okay, the wife and husband are best friends. Not just that, but very important here is that uh, at the same time she must understand that the husband is superior in position, and thus she must offer him all respect. So this respect aspect is further elaborated. How? Because it is the psychology of men and women which is different, and accordingly, when they are followed, then the family life will be harmonious. What is that? Thus, thus the natural instinct is that the husband wants to post himself as superior to the wife. This is, yeah, and this must be observed. As constituted by bodily frame, a man always wants to be superior to his wife, and a woman, as bodily constituted, is naturally inferior to her husband. And this must be observed. Even if there is some wrong on the part of husband, the wife must tolerate it, and thus there will be a no misunderstanding between husband and wife. Vishrambena means with intimacy, but it must not be familiarity that breeds contempt. What does that mean is, now we are friends, so you hit me with your leg, I hit you with your, so not like that. intimacy, uh, that we treat uh, each other like that. No, but it must be family. It must be that according to Vedic civilization, a wife cannot call her husband by name. But I sometimes see, I don't know, I mean, at least in South India, we don't have this culture, but in North India, when someone is calling his wife, they call her through her son, right? For example, oh, Ramesh ki maa, rather than calling her. I don't know. Is it still valid? Hmm? Adiras Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how does the wife address the husband these days? By name? Ambika Mataji, how do you address? Of course, with us you always say Prabhuji, but
सृष्टि के पापा
see,
But there is a danger, Prabhuji, when Bharat here is na, that Srishti ke Papa, then he is very unhappy.
competition. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, why Srishti ke Papa? Why not Bharat ke Papa?
Uh,
But she get always Srishti because Srishti was
first.
first born. So
Yeah. Yeah. Good. So, which is still typical these days to call like that to address husband? I don't know. But anyway, but in Hindu civilization, she does not. Thus, the inferiority and superiority complexes are recognized. Yeah. A wife cannot call her husband by name. In the present civilization, the wife calls her husband by name. Uh, Thus, the inferiority and superiority complexes are recognized because of this feeling that I am superior, but I am not respected. How can someone call me by name? Where I also know in Vedas that it's not the norm. Yeah, so something abnormal. These days, wives have changed all these feelings. Uh, Here, Damecha, a wife has to learn to control herself even if there is a misunderstanding. Next quality. Yeah. And Sahridena, Vacha, Madhurya. Madhurya means always desiring good for the husband and speaking to him with sweet words. This we can see from Mandodari. Yeah. She had a husband. Yeah. Nevertheless, she always tried to present it, her viewpoint in very sweet words, and always desired good for him. Yeah, that is the reason she also spoke. A person becomes agitated by so many material contacts in the outside world. Therefore, in his home life, he must be treated by his wife with sweet words. This treating with sweet words is so important. I heard to a pravachkar also in the past that, yeah, of course, these days both are working, yeah, and both are in contact to the outer world. So this treating with sweet words is very important, yeah, for both, uh, on both parts. But this is what I said. Yeah, okay. If a person who is going out for a business or on work and after coming home, if he is quite disturbed, yeah, because he has to handle sometimes the evil plans of his boss or other people, or if someone has misused his goodness, yeah, at home he is just not peaceful, but his home is a place of peace. Yeah, so the home is to be considered as a place where one gets um, revived, recovered from all the disturbances that are happening outside, uh, and then absorbed in meditation or absorbed in the real purpose of life. Yeah, so that's why, of course, with home offices, there is less difference between home and office. Huh? But hmm, the purpose of home is that one can uh, disconnect with rest of the world or rest of the business affairs or whatever, and be focused at real purpose of life. Yeah, and in that addressing or exchanging sweet words is very important. So in that way, these are two qualities, which is what is that? Vishrambena sauchena, uh, Gauravena damena cha, Sushrusaya Sauhrudena. Yeah, when we serve, yeah, Sahrud, with all good hearts, good intention, vacha madhuraya cha boh. Yeah, that is very important. And of course, we should not think that these are the qualities only are required only for woman or wife, but these are very much qualities that are required from the other side, from the partner, um, to have a very happy, successful grihastha life. What are further qualities here? Uh, Working sanely and diligently, she pleased her very powerful husband, giving up all lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. This is also very important when we are having um, uh, also required in a grihastha life. Yeah. Here are some of the qualities of great husbands, great wife. Uh, but of course, for ordinary man, what should be done in the end of the purport we will read. Kardama Muni is great by spiritual qualification. Such a husband is called Tejayam, Tejayamsham, yeah, most powerful. Although a wife may be equal to her husband in advancement in spiritual consciousness, she should not be vainly proud. This is very important quality. Yeah, that thinking that I am also reading Bhagavad Gita, I am also reading Bhagavatam, I am also absorbed in all these things, so I am also equal, or even feel like I am greater because I know more. This sense of proudness uh, should be rejected, should be avoided even to enter. Sometimes it happens that the wife comes from a very rich family, as did Devahūti. Uh, she could have been very proud of her parentage, but that is forbidden. After entering, after leaving, or actually after the marriage, husband's house is everything, which means whatever is her parents is nothing because it's not hers anymore. The wife should not be proud of her parental position. And of course, in that connection, it's also said that after the daughter is given in marriage, the daughter has no right or no power to interfere in the affairs of her father's family. Yeah, this is also a Vedic principle. The wife should not be proud of her parental position. She must always be submissive to the husband and must give up all vanity. Vanity, what is vanity? Adambar. To hey, I had a, I'm coming from that family where this is what is done. Morning there is a bed coffee, yeah, and there are three servants who used to always take care of me, and all those things, and or even if not feeling great about, hmm, that should be given up. As soon as the wife becomes proud of her parentage, her pride creates great misunderstanding between the husband and wife, and their nuptial life is ruined. Devahūti was very careful about that, and therefore it is said that her here that she gave up her pride completely. Devahūti was not unfaithful. The most sinful activity for a wife is to accept another husband or another lover. So anyway, in that regard, Chanakya Pandit gives that there are four enemies at home. At home also we have enemies. This is what is that? If the father is in debt, he is considered to be an enemy. If the mother has selected another husband in the presence of her grown-up child or children, she is considered to be an enemy. If a wife does not live well with her husband but deal very roughly, then she is an enemy. And if a son is a fool, he is also an enemy. Enemy, what does it mean? Enemy for oneself in the family, in at house. Yeah. Actually, Chanakya Pandit, he wanted to say that what is, who is a fool? Yeah. Uh, 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 no, who is what is no? Let me say this four lines. Na, he mainly said that if a son is a fool, he is also enemy. That is what he wanted to say, and he gives the other examples also. Who is considered an enemy? Because of a son who is a fool, he doesn't bring good to the family or good to the house. Yeah. In family life, father, mother, wife, and children are assets. But if the wife or mother accepts another husband in presence of her husband or a son, then according to Vedic civilization, she is considered an enemy. A chaste and faithful woman must not practice adultery. That is a greatly sinful act. Anyway, these are the qualities that are very much required to lead a very successful grihastha life. Yeah, usually uh, people ask, give grihastha seminars, how to lead a nice pakka family life. And when we take shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, just in 3 verses we can understand, okay, if we can compromise and agree to these three verses and essence of it, then the grihastha life is successful. Yeah, just like in the case of Devahūti and Kardama Muni. Okay, and then Devahūti, yeah, it's further explained about what happened when Devahūti was serving. Yeah, when Devahūti was serving, then she started becoming weak. The wife is expected to be of the same category as the husband. This is where it is that Providence blessings having served. Um, mm, yeah. Thus she expected great blessings from him. Having served him for a long time, she grew weak and emaciated. Emaciated because of not taking food due to her religious observances. Mm. And then, yeah. If the husband is a devotee, then the wife is materialist, and the wife is materialistic, there cannot be any peace in the home. The wife must see the tendencies of the husband and must be prepared to follow him. From Mahabharata, we know the pastime of Gandhari, so I will skip that. Yeah, we know that's why she is praised for her chasteness. The word Samanuvrata indicates that it is a duty of a wife to adopt the special circumstances in which the husband is situated. Just like Gandhari, because her husband was blind, she also tried her eyes. Of course, if the husband is as great as Kardama Muni, then a very good result accrues from following him. Okay, but now we talk about Kardama Muni is perfection, self-realized, and all. But what about others? But even if the husband is not a great devotee like Kardama Muni, it is the wife's duty to adapt herself according to his mentality. That makes married life very happy. It is also mentioned herein that by following the strict vows of a chaste wife, or a chaste woman, sorry, Princess Devahūti became very skinny, and therefore her husband became compassionate. So in the service, yeah, by rendering selfless service, I think there is also a word somewhere, or it comes later. Uh, Devahūti has served her husband selflessly, not for her pleasure. She was just serving because she is following the vows of a chaste woman, and therefore her husband became compassionate. That because of love, because of love in the relationship, then the husband is becoming compassionate. He knew that she was the daughter of a great king and yet was serving him just like an ordinary woman. This will trigger compassion from the husband. She was reduced in health by such activities, and he became compassionate and addressed her as follows. He says, I am pleased. He says, I'm pleased. Why? With all your service. I think there is. I am astonished that you have neglected your own body to use it on my behalf. Yeah. So this is a very glorifies the greatness of Devahūti to good extent. Yeah. Why? Because she was, yeah, if someone, this shows about Devahūti that she is also selfless, and she is not so much sensually attached. She also didn't had attachment for enjoyment, material enjoyment. Why? Because if someone is um still having back of his or her mind for her own pleasure or enjoyment, okay, I'm doing, there is a chance that you will still maintain yourself well. Yeah. But here we can see that she has forgotten her own care and she was only busy taking care of her husband, following the vows of married uh, life. was so faithful to husband that not only did she serve him with great devotion, service, and respect, but she did not even care for her health. This is called selfless service. It appears that Devahūti had no sense pleasure, even with her husband. Otherwise, she would not have deteriorated in health. So, so what was she doing? She was acting such a way that she was facilitating Kardama Muni engagement in spiritual elevation. She continually assisted him, not caring for her bodily comfort. And now, is it something out of normal box or out of box? No, it is the duty. Yeah, it is said, it is the duty of a faithful and chaste wife to help her husband in every respect, especially when the husband is engaged in Krishna consciousness. In this case, the husband also amply rewarded the wife. This is not to be expected by a woman. Now you see, this is not to be expected by a woman who is wife of an ordinary person. What does it mean? One may simply say, I have done so much and my husband is not taking care. Here it says that if the person is an ordinary, this is not to be expected by a woman who is wife of an ordinary person. Whatever we are now discussing about Kardamamuni and greatness and all. And then it goes, and now because Kardamamuni is pleased, he is saying he is awarding. This is the, I would say, very um, nice motivation for woman or for wife is what Kardamuni what he did. I have achieved the blessings of the Lord in discharging my own religious life of austerity, meditation, and Krishna consciousness. Uh, Although you have not yet experienced these achievements, which is free from fear and lamentation, I shall offer them all to you because you are engaged in my service. So what happens in this, yeah, when the wife is sincerely serving her husband out of compassion, husband want to reward. And if a husband is a qualified devotee, what is happening? Even she is blessed with spiritual assets, and these spiritual assets cannot diminish. um, I don't know, is it from yesterday conversation? I don't know. Yeah, these assets, it's not like, okay, after some time, or these are temporary, or yeah, there is, yeah, it's not like that. They come with you forever. So, Devahūti engaged only in the service of Kardama Muni. She didn't go and did thousands and thousands of years of penance under the very tough conditions where there is different kinds of seasons and outside the house, under a tree, in the forest, all these things. Devahūti didn't do that. Devahūti engaged only in the service of Kardamuni. She was not supposed to be so advanced in austerity, because she has not done, not in austerity, ecstasy, meditation, or Krishna consciousness. But what she got, she was sharing her husband's achievement, which she could neither see nor experience. Automatically, she achieved these graces of the Lord. Yeah, so that is the beauty. What is the beauty is that just by sincerely serving her husband, whatever the devotional assets that the husband is getting, uh, these are here Kardamuni has offered to his wife. Otherwise, there is no chance to get that. Yeah. What are the graces of Lord? And now it is said, Abhaya. Abhay is the asset of the grace of the Lord. Yeah, free from fearfulness. In the material world, if someone accumulates $1 million, he is always full of fear because he is always thinking, what if the money is lost? But the benediction of the Lord, Bhagavat Prasad, is never to be lost. This is what I was also mentioning. It is simply to be enjoyed. There is no question of loss. One simply gains and enjoys gaining. Bhagavad Gita also confirms this. When one achieves the grace of the Lord, the result is that sarva dukkhani, all distresses are destroyed. When situated in transcendental position, one is freed from the two kinds of material diseases. What is that? Hankering. I want, I want, I want. And when it's not achieved, lamentation, lamentation, lamentation. Oh, I didn't get it, and crying. Both are diseases of material life. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita. After devotional service begins, we can achieve the full result of love of Godhead. Love of Godhead is the highest perfection of Bhagavat Prasad. And then, how to get that? Prabodhananda Saraswati said that if one achieves the grace of Lord Chaitanya, and this is very nice, he becomes so great that he does not care a fig even for demigods. He thinks of monoism as hellish, and for him the perfection of controlling the senses is as easy as anything. Heavenly pleasures become to him no more than stories. Actually, there is no comparison between material happiness and transcendental happiness. So this is further explained with the Narada Muni experience that what he did. Yeah, Narada Muni was a maid servant's son, but his mother was engaged in service of a great devotees. Yeah, he got the opportunity to serve the devotees, and simply by eating the remnants of their foodstuff and carrying out their orders, he became so elevated. In his next life, he became the great personality Narada. Yeah. So, and in this connection, there is explanation about what is the importance of serving the spiritual master. And here we also understand one very important principle. By serving her devotee husband Kardama, Devahūti shared in his achievements. Similarly, a sincere disciple, simply by serving a bona fide spiritual master, can achieve all the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master simultaneously. So, serving a bona fide spiritual master, which this means that if we can make this as our life and goal, then we can achieve the mercy of the Lord and spiritual master. 8:30, pressing against time, but let's see, we'll go a little further. What is the use of, and Kardamuni further explains, what is the use of other enjoyments other than Lord's grace? One who has achieved Lord's grace, he doesn't need care for anything. All material achievements are subject to be annihilated simply by the movement of eyebrow of Lord Vishnu. By your principles of devotion to your husband, you have achieved and can enjoy transcendental gifts very rarely obtained by persons proud of aristocracy and material possessions. Here it's because she is coming from royal family. He is mentioning his wife belonged to very royal family. Generally, those who are very materialistic or who possess material wealth and prosperity are unable to appreciate the value of transcendental love. Although Devahūti was a princess coming from a very great royal family, fortunately, she was under the supervision of her great husband. Love of God is not an ordinary commodity. Ah. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was worshipped by Rupa Goswami because he distributed love of God, Krishna Prema, to everyone. Rupa Goswami praised him as Mahavadanya, Vadanya, a great munificent personality because he was freely distributing to everyone love of Godhead. Huh? That prema, that result of bhakti, what everyone is hankering for, huh? This is Krishna prema, and it is not so easy. Huh? Fortunately, we are in Kali Yuga. Usually, we say, "Hey, Kali Yuga is full of all bad qualities," but Eko Mahaguna, yeah, uh, Rajan, yeah, this is what Sukadev Goswami is telling to Parishit Maharaj that in Kali Yuga, there are so many bad qualities, but there is one good quality in this. What is that? It is Krishna Prema. Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yeah, who is distributing this uh, holy name. He's not seeing who is qualified, whether he's a Brahman or he is a Kshatriya or Vaishya, huh? Even if he is a Shudra or Chandala or dog eater, doesn't matter. Huh? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed. What is that? That priceless, the the ultimate, what one is needed. Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing, which is achieved by wise men only after many births. Krishna Prema, Krishna consciousness, is the highest gift which can be bestowed on anyone whom we presume to love. Huh? One word used in this verse is Nijadharma Dohan is very significant. Devahūti achieved an invaluable gift from her husband because she was very faithful to him. For a woman, the first principle of religion is to be faithful to her husband. If fortunately the husband is a great personality, then the combination is perfect and the lives of both the wife and husband are at once fulfilled. And now Devavati starts with her request. She is satisfied and she says, upon hearing the speaking of her husband, she was very happy, very satisfied. So this is what it means to uh, speak sweet words. Yeah? Innocent Devavati was very satisfied. Her smiling face shining with a slightly bashful glance, she spoke in choked voice because of great humility and love. Um, and in that she had no doubt about the gifts offered by her husband. Why? Because she knew, yeah, Devahuti's husband is expert in all those mystic, so the assets that he carried. Hmm. So she, upon hearing her husband, Devahuti became very satisfied, and she started speaking. Huh. Then, with flattering language, just like an attractive wife, she spoke the following words. So always there are sweet words. We have to see how to extract the uh, duty from that. My dear husband, I know that you have achieved perfection and are the master of all the infallible mystic powers because you are under the protection of Yogamaya. But you once made a promise that our bodily union should now fulfill, since children are a great quality of a chaste woman who has a glorified husband. So this is very important. She started kind of bringing back that importance of having a child. That is the purpose of grihastha life. Yeah, otherwise one can become just after brahmachari simply become sannyas. But what is the purpose of grihastha life is to beget responsible children to the society. And then Devahūti reminds, uh, and the greatness of Devahūti is that she waited. It is not that she was, what is this? My husband is always meditating. He doesn't know all this. Let me tell. Huh? Yeah, 1 day over, 2 days over. This cannot go like this forever. No, I have to tell him. Otherwise, I think he doesn't know anything. No, here Devavati showed the example of serving her husband and pleasing her husband, and when compassionately he started offering reward for the service, or he started appreciating and inquiring, then here Devahuti started saying what is the next action. So she was so sincerely waiting, forgetting herself of this main thing, waiting until her husband becomes uh, uh, ready. Yeah, one after he comes out of that meditation, so she started asking this. The Supreme Lord has two energies, energy, material energy and spiritual energy. I think we know this part. This the symptom of okay. This was known to Devahuti, yet she was anxious to have a son by bodily union with sage. Yeah, in spite that she know that Kardama Muni will leave her uh, after begetting children. Yeah, still she did. She reminded her husband of his promise to her parents. I will remain only until the time of Devahuti's pregnancy. She reminded him that for a chaste woman to have a child by a great personality is most glorious. She wanted to be pregnant and she prayed for that. The word stri means expansion. By bodily union of husband and wife, their qualities are expanded. Children born of good parents are expansions of parents' personal qualifications. So here, both Kardama and Devhuti were spiritually enlightened. Therefore, she desired from the beginning that first she be pregnant and then she be empowered with achievement of God's grace and love of God. For women, it is a great ambition to have a son of the same quality as a highly qualified husband. Since she had the opportunity to have Kardama Muni as her husband, she also desired to have a child by bodily union. Yeah, maybe two more verses, then I'll stop. Hmm. And then what she asked is, yeah, please make my body suitable for the purpose. Yeah, I became very skinny, my body, uh, and through unsatisfied passion, maybe rendered fit for you. Also, my Lord, please think of a suitable house for this purpose. And in this connection, here it said, this Vedic literatures are not only full of spiritual instruction but also instructive in how to prosecute material existence very nicely. Therefore, Devahuti asked her husband how to prepare herself for sex life according to Vedic instructions. Yeah, sex life is especially meant for having good children. The circumstances for creating good children are mentioned in Kama Sutra, the scripture in which suitable arrangements are prescribed for factually glorious sex life. Everything needed is mentioned in the scriptures. What sort of house and decorations there should be, what sort of dress the wife should have, how she should be decorated with ointments, scents, and other attractive features, etc. With these requisites fulfilled, the husband will be attracted by her beauty and a favorable mental situation will be created. The mental situation at the time of sex life may then be transferred into the womb of the wife, and good children can come out of that pregnancy. Yeah, when we talk about this Vyasadev, yeah, when um, he Vidurji appears, yeah, but before that, Dhritarashtra, how he appears, because when she comes in, she's scared to see the form of Vyasadev, and then so in that way, yeah, here it said that how the environment is created. Yeah, that's why we see that after marriage, when there is this Garbhadan Sanskar, which we call nowadays as a first night, but it was the purpose is so that it is a public event. It's a public event where everyone is invited, when everyone is arranging everything, so everyone is blessing, so that a very qualified progeny appears. And for that, all the arrangements are made so that it creates a good mental uh, mm, condition, so that to attract a good soul who is looking for a good parent. Yeah, and after attracting such a good soul, then uh, the husband is transferring into the womb of the wife. So so this is what, yeah, because she had become skinny, yeah, she feared that her body might have no attraction for Kardama. She wanted to be instructed how to improve her bodily condition in order to attract her husband. Sexual intercourse in which the husband is attracted to the wife is sure to produce a male child, but sexual intercourse based on attraction of wife for the husband may produce a girl. Again, there is this whole description about which day of the which day, how it is influencing to beget a girl or a beget a son, and what is the factor, what is that, the moon, how does it influences the nature or the mind of the, yeah, couple. So that is also mentioned, that is mentioned in Ayurveda. When the passion of the woman is greater, there is a chance of a girl's being born. When the passion of man is greater, then there is a possibility of a son. Devahuti wanted the passion of her husband to be increased by arrangement mentioned in Kama Sutra. She wanted him to instruct her in that way, and she also requested that he arrange for a suitable house. Because the hermitage in which Kardamamuni was living was very simple and completely in the mode of goodness, and there was less possibility of passions being aroused in his heart. And then Maitreya further continued, saying, seeking to please his beloved wife, and now sage, yeah, he expands, he creates everything, yeah, so with his yogic power, and instantly produced an aerial mansion that could travel at his will. And let me go. I mean, I think we can go through 12 to 21 in just matter of 5 minutes, because this is only just describing about what all, I mean, of course, purports give little more, but maybe very side note. So here is saying that this he created a aerial mansion that could travel at his will. We are talking about something, a huge mansion that can sail in the sky. Yeah, it is bedecked with all sorts of jewel, uh, can yield whatever is desired. It is adorned with pillars of precious stones, increasing in wealth. Decorated with flags, festoons, and artistic work of variegated colors. It contains all necessary paraphernalia, huh? And it is having charming flowers that attracted sweetly humming bees. Huh? It has, I mean, everything, all kinds of nice silky linen cloths and fabrics, with beds and couches, fans and seats. It is arranged in 7 stories. Artistic engraving on the walls. Floor is made of emerald and coral diases were made. Coral thresholds at the entrances. So anyway, it's only glorification of such a beautiful mansion, yeah, which even now we cannot build in spite of having all kinds of riches. We are thinking choose a choicest rubies set in diamond walls, wonderful canopies with water that is oozing from, and valuable gates of gold. And then there are live swans and pigeons, artificial swans and pigeons, yeah, and yeah, pleasure grounds, resting chambers, beautiful bedrooms, inner and outer yards. After all this creation, Kardamamuni himself was astonished to see them. So, yeah. So, after seeing this beautiful airplane, yeah, Devahūti is not very pleased. Now, can you imagine? If one is saying, hey, I have a wonderful villa where, it is only for two of us. Just imagine this villa is only for us. There are no one in the vicinities where even if one uses binoculars or anything cannot see us. It's only our private space, our own house. Huh? A big yard in the front, in the back, in all sides. Huh? With all kinds of facilities in cellar, first floor, second floor. I don't know how many, 7 floors also if it is made. But then Devahūti is not very pleased. I think we are. So when he saw Devahūti looking at the gigantic opulent palace with a displeased heart, because why? Because her body is still weak and skinny and dirty, and she did not have servants. Understanding this, because Kardama Muni, who can read, study the heart of anyone. So then he personally addressed his wife as follows. What he said: take bath in this desire fulfilling lake, this Bindu Sarovar. How did it come into existence? Created by Lord Vishnu himself, and mount this airplane. After you take uh, Divya Snan, after you clean yourself, become fresh, then we can go on this aerial mansion. So um, he's saying take bath in this Bindu Sarovar, and this Bindu Sarovar came into existence because Kardama Muni has conducted great penances and could could have darshan of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu was extremely pleased by, not even pleased, he tears of uh, what do you call, uh, out of the great love, or what Kadamba Muni has offered and pleased na, Lord Vishnu was pleased, and the tears that came, this ocean is ocean of drops. That's why it's called Bindu Sarovar. Sorry, the lake is called Bindu Sarovar, yeah, because this lake is lake of drops that came from Lord Vishnu, and because it is from Saraswati, yeah, the river which is next. So so Kardama Muni said to Devahūti, go and take bath, yeah, and then Devahūti entered the lake with her matted hair, uh, with her body, dirty clothes, and discolored breasts. So then she entered, and what happened as soon as she entered? In there was a house. There was a house inside the lake, and inside the lake there were thousands of young girls. They said with folded hands, "We are your servants. What we can do for you?" The girls have very nicely bathed Devahūti with valuable oils, ointments, and gave her new clothes, excellent jewels, good food, and sweet drinks called asavam. And then in mirror, Devahūti saw she is very clean and decorated with nice tilak. She was fully bathed and decorated with all ornaments, special necklaces, bangles, golden anklets, girdles, and auspicious substances. Her face with beautiful teeth, charming eyes, eyebrows, and locks of hair. Huh? She was appearing very, very beautiful. Anyway, I think somehow I have dragged till 33. But please read through the purports because purports also give more into, yeah, some little more essence to it. Okay, thank you so much. Are there any questions, comments, anything anyone want to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this nice narration. Yeah, we heard so much glories of Devati Mataji and and her husband, Kannama Muni. Prabhuji, I had this question. I also read that without children there is no grahast ashram, but and also we hear that the purpose of the grahast ashram is to produce nice Krishna conscious children. But some people also that they focus on the Krishna consciousness and they would not like to have children, but they want to focus on Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So is it forbidden according to the Vedic culture that uh, not to have children,
Uh,
even
um,
because we hear
if
that
it is the
Krishna, yeah,
if it is the divine arrangement because they cannot have progeny, yeah, that is one thing. But even in that case, they are in entering into vanaprastha ashram that both of them should work together to achieve, yeah, by going into temples or places where they can engage full-time devotional service, but not desiring a child. Yeah, the purpose. What is the purpose of entering into grahastha ashram? What is the purpose? I mean, without entering into grahastha ashram, also they can still engage in the services, right?
yes.
Hmm?
So desiring should be there. I mean, to
Yeah,
have,
definitely. I mean, the purpose of grahastha ashram is to have progeny as two categories. One is as qualified as a representative of the Lord or qualities of the Lord, or second thing is as one who can expand the glories of the Lord, just like Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so that one can engage in the service of the Lord in glorifying the Lord, either the Lord expansion or the servant of the Lord.
okay, Prabhuji, okay, yeah. So one should not decide that we do not want children because we are in
Yeah.
Krishna consciousness. So that is not the right attitude. Yeah.
Uh, again, this is when we are talking within the limits of Varnashrama Dharma.
Yeah.
Yeah. If, of course, one is um, already surpassing the level of Varnashrama Dharma, because then they need not follow this Vedic conditions and all these things. They are not bound, but that should be a genuine, yeah, it should not be like, okay, um, it is something like if you are seeing a flight which is flying in the sky, just by your thought, if you are thinking that I am sitting in the flight, doesn't mean that you are sitting in the flight, right? You have to buy a ticket, you have to go to the airport, you have to take the flight, then only you are sitting in and then you are flying. because we are exposed to such a very precious knowledge of Krishna consciousness, there might be that, okay, let us give up all these things and fully focus. But if that is very strong and if it is really genuine and you can carry on like that without um, um, what do you call, vanity of, or spiritual vanity, showing of something, doing something, right? Then it's okay. But if not, yeah, then one has to take shelter of varnashrama system, purify themselves by practicing a regulated life, rules and regulations of Vedic principles, and then elevate. Then he is free to, yeah, be in that situation.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you. Very nicely explained. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
And
you.
Prabhuji, I have also one more question. We hear that many times that the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yeah, that we are in the Brahma Sampradaya, and here we have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But in other sampradayas, uh, they do not have this Mahamantra. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
say they have their own mantra. But
Mm-hmm.
does it mean that they do not have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or if it's so, that then how the devotees in other sampradaya, how do they fill this gap that we
No,
have?
there is no filling the gap. They can still, nevertheless, yeah, by following different sampradayas, they are also understanding the Godhead. But they are not given this ultimate result, which is the prema, Krishna prema. Yeah, that's why if you see, for example, in Sri Sampradaya, they are taking shelter of Lakshmi Devi and pleasing the Lakshmi Devi, and through her, yeah, when we talk about um, Ramanujacharya's, uh, Gadyatrayam, yeah, and that the Sharanagati prayers are there in the first Gadyam, and first prayers are just to ask Mother Lakshmi to grant the access to the devotional result of worshipping Lord Vishnu. So in that way, so all the prayers are more centric to the level of Lord Vishnu. Yeah. So in that way, what is happening is the result also is that one can get, yeah, either after being successful, they can have the entry to Vaikuntha Lok and they can engage in the service of Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that's why also, yeah, even if we are in the Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, right? So it is the enhanced or the ultimate level of teachings, yeah, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought and given, yeah. So the results will definitely be differing, yeah. So when one takes up to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu movement, then he is exposed to the uh, completely manifested form of the mercy of the Lord. But anyway, here we have experts. There is Omkareshwar Prabhu, there is Apu Prabhu, who can add more. What do you say?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, I cannot add more. I have no qualification to add anything, Prabhuji. But whatever you said is perfectly right, Prabhuji. Yes, yes. They also get the mercy of God. They also get bhakti, because they are also reciting the Narayana, Om Namo Narayana in Sri Sampradaya. So actually, this same question Uma asked to one of the Prabhupada disciple, president of the Baroda temple, Vasu Ghosh Prabhu. He took a class and yeah. So she asked that if the other sampradaya also they get the bhakti and they get the same results. So he said yes, they get also the results, because finally they are worshipping Narayana
Vishnu
and
Tattva.
Vishnu,
Yeah.
yeah, Vishnu Tattva. So they will also get the result definitely. But as Prabhuji had added further that this prema bhakti or madhurya bhakti is, yeah, this is enhanced in our sampradaya, and this is really the purest form. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Actually, Prabhuji, this whole chapter now, what you covered, it is worth to spend this time. You have really given a good explanation, because this is a really a very rich philosophy and very deep philosophy. and very important for Grastha life also. So thank you for giving this. Yeah, this was deserving actually this time for this chapter. There's so many things to learn from here.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, thanks, Omkareshwar Prabhu. Apu Prabhu, on this topic, can you add something to the question that Ajrasa Prabhu asked? Yeah, because yeah, one who is more absorbed in reading can present more references. Okay, yeah, but thank you very much, Omkareshwar Babu. Of course, this episode may be very pleasing because yeah, here husband's role is superior, and I would like to hear more what Mataji's how did Mataji's found this chapter? I mean, what we have read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I mean, before Mataji can ask a question, I have a question.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I mean, so sometimes whatever we see, sometimes even in India or in anywhere in the world, we see some extreme cases where the wife is a great spiritual, wife is in the great path of spiritual journey or progress, maybe on the verge of becoming a good devotee. But the materialistic activities of husbands are obstructing her path of devotion. So, in such cases, or vice versa, in such cases, how do we deal with such situations, Prabhuji? I mean, because they will be struggling to keep up to the path of devotion.
Yeah, very nice question. Yeah, it's very nice question. What to do when only
Yes.
one single partner is energetic and the other partner is opposite?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. We should tolerate. We should tolerate, and that is the principle in Grihastha life. It's not that we give up and get carried away, but we should tolerate. I mean, I hope, yeah, you know the difference between both, right? So it is not that, okay, what to do? Yeah, because my husband wants me to come to dance parties or, yeah, engage in some kind of intoxication or meat eating, which I have given up. Yeah. What to do now? Yeah. Yeah, if I don't do, then I'm not pleasing the other person. Yeah. By just doing that adjustment, we are compromising. Yeah. Instead of pleasing, so in the mode of pleasing, and what we are doing is we may end up in doing something not correct. Yeah. What it means to be tolerant is that, okay, yeah, when we are convinced that this is the right path, that we practice, we continue to practice as much as possible with as there is always a give and take. Yeah, in a grahastha life or in a married life, there is always something we can give and still please someone. Need not that we have to give everything only for pleasing others and we sacrifice our own spiritual advancement, or what we have realized is absolute, or what we have realized what should we do, right? What we have to do is we practice as much as possible given in the time, place and circumstances, um, and carry on a silent note, or maybe on a more invisible, rather to create more envyistic um, repulsion. Yeah. What we can do is still engage in serving in what other areas they can still appreciate what we do. And as I said, now comes to the tolerance, and this will not be one day. Yeah, after one day, not next day, miraculously things change. It will take maybe years. And what we can do is we can still continue, we can still develop, improve ourselves, and hope for a change. And indeed, it works. Yep. I mean, my understanding is no family is from day one fully, both are harmoniously devotional. Even in that also there is a kind of one is superior within devotion, one is not superior within devotion.
Yes,
Not,
Prabhuji.
I'm saying not superior, I mean advanced. One
Yes,
is
yes,
not
Prabhuji.
advanced and someone is, yeah. So what will happen is down the line after a few years, um, this will become narrowed, the gap. But yeah, tolerance.
Yes, Prabhuji. I mean, I understood the importance of tolerance, Prabhuji. But sometimes when the gap is too long to be bridged, that means if one of the people they will never get into the path of devotion, then that means that maybe the other person is getting disturbed, that she is unable to practice Krishna consciousness. So is it justificable that the person can leave the association, because even in Krishna consciousness, we are always taught to be in the association of devotees, but this is the extreme
Let's
scenario.
let's take the example of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, when we are coming across Leelamrit, right? In Leelamrit, we see what Prabhupada did. He didn't leave, right? Until the time really came, which was already then he was already 50 plus, and meanwhile he didn't compromise also his own devotion. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And his wife was, yeah, the quality that you were mentioning, right? Extreme, right? To the extent that she sold out papers for tea, and she didn't cooperate anytime.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So that's how Prabhupada personal life example can help us to handle. Yeah. And
Yes,
then
Prabhuji.
also accepting this is what Krishna is giving. And you remember, right? When Srila Prabhupada was in a time that he wanted to what do you call separate, right? You were not there, you were in India. Yeah. When Srila Prabhupada was thinking that he want to not continue, or then his father said, I think having a unharmonious married life is always good, so that you can be more focused in devotion. Otherwise you will be more attached to wife. So that way, yeah. So he said to tolerate. If I remember exact word, I think that time also it's referred as tolerating.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes,
Prabhu, you
Prabhuji.
were
Yes.
want to say?
Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Even Prabhuji, the second example also from Prabhupada family, the sister of Prabhupada also has a husband drinking wine with alcohol and eating meat, and she was only serving and serving him throughout the life, and
I
maybe at
think
the end
Prabhupada
he
gave the
changed.
example also, right? In US to his disciples, Prabhupada, I think he gave this example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, there are many such couples. We know one couple, in Germany itself, the husband is a great devotee, doing 16 japa and doing service in Goloka temple always early morning Mangalarati, and for a couple of years he's aspiring to get initiation from His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj is always saying wait, because his wife is eating non-veg and very like tamasic and all, and she is not agreeing to the devotional principles or four regulative principles. But Maharaj says, please tolerate. And this devotee meet us always, in the temple and always on telephone call. So he's waiting. As you mentioned, na Prabhuji, that tolerate. So he's cooking the prasad by himself, and he's just in the mode of tolerance. He's tolerating, and he Maharaj says to him, the time will come. Just wait, wait, and wait. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
yes.
What else? Anyone want to say? Sagar Prabhu, Ramesh Prabhu.
Very
Maybe
good
we were
session, Prabhuji. Very
talking too
informative
much
and
ideologies, right?
yeah, good questions. So, lot to learn.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. And Mataji's, I think Varsha Mataji, you were saying or wanted to say something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Varsha Mataji has one question, Prabhuji, but she is hesitant to ask.
No,
Okay.
actually, in general, this chapter was nice. Lot of things to learn
we are still in Grihastha Ashram, but it is very nice learning from this chapter. I essentially feel that such education should be given to girls in a prior age. Like now we have already entered this Grihastha Ashram and knowing and inventing. But since how Indian families, Indian culture is changing, we, we desperately need this education much before, like in some school days or something. So I really felt, Prabhuji, this is one thing. And the other thing is, Prabhuji, when we were going through the chapter, like as Dinesh Prabhu was also asking this question. So my point is sometimes it's okay being one partner being devotional, not devotional, okay, we can tolerate. But many a times in India we see scenarios and elsewhere also where relation is abusive, where one person is beating, and it is like extreme cases where in modern society, yes, it is true in older generation nobody was taking divorce and everything like that. But when other person is beating and the one person or alcoholism to an extreme, so my point is what their children will be learning, like how the children will be learning from the father, and what should be the role of the mother in such cases to continue tolerate the situation, and how it should be done for them.
So your question is for the wife or question is for the for situation of children?
The question is, if the situation is very extreme, Prabhuji, that means like there is a devotee, but her husband is very abusive. So the tolerance levels will be tested to the infinite limits. So how do we deal with such situations?
Yeah, and the impact in the children towards children also. This is also the question, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so peaks to the test of tolerance, right?
Yeah,
yes,
the tolerance limit, like it comes like, because you can tolerate for yourself, but when it comes for children, like such, because when we hear such scenario, why divorce become very famous, because they think, okay, we can tolerate for ourselves, but our children will not get something good out of this relationship. So then they take divorce.
So I ask your question is whether should we
How then in that case, like the principle of Devahūti should be followed by following the husband, because sometimes in the purport also it is written, whatever even if the husband is not to the level of Kardama Muni, whatever his wife has to follow husband. So like in such extreme scenario, what has to be done because that is also a Grasta family.
yeah, I mean that is not a Grihastha family, that is a Grihamedi family, by the way.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, Prabhu.
So when we are talking about such a Grihamedi family, how to still achieve,
Yeah.
how to continue to practice bhakti. I think no one has the right to stop one practicing bhakti. Yeah, this is for sure clear. So whether it is a husband or a wife or a mother or a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, no one has a right to stop someone who is engaging in devotion, which is a lawful or a rightful act that one can at any time not follow, yeah, which is harming this. But at the same time, because of maintaining still harmony, because especially when we talk about a girl who, yeah, there are two possibilities from here, that either she tolerates and there is no change, yeah, because a person is only kind of more if a person is a lifetime alcoholic, that he is not even realizing what is he doing, yeah, what is the hope then? Tolerance has no result, right? Yeah, in the end, if the person doesn't realize the sacrifice the person is doing, or is not appreciating what she or he is serving, yeah, so in that they, how can one realize if you are blind to appreciate the greatness in others?
Yes,
Right.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, one thing is materially if we see that she is suffering, but because by practicing Vedic civilization she is at least gaining spiritual asset. Yeah, I mean that may help her in this life itself or maybe in other lifetime. But definitely what she is doing, if she is sticking on and following the yeah principles, she's anyway getting benefit. There is no loss for it because she is following the dharma, and dharma, the result of it is definitely appreciated. And now coming to, I mean, did this answer your question? So
Yeah,
of
yes,
course, from
yes.
an external point of view, we see that oh, the person is tortured, the person is, yeah. There is also other reason, yeah, maybe of the karmic reaction that she has or he
True.
has to go through, is going through
Yes,
that
Prabhuji.
Yes,
time.
true.
That is anyway there, yeah. And meanwhile, but still going away or away from the dharma, she will create more for future. But at least if she continues, na, then at
Mm,
least she can avoid that. This is one thing.
mm,
And the second thing is that about the children,
mm,
yeah, what will happen to the children, yeah, with the children. See, if someone is a smoker at home, the
mm,
child can either become a perfect anti to smoking or can also, yeah, become addicted to smoking. Both are possible.
mm,
And it is education through which a child can be made a pakka anti-smoker. Yeah, yeah. When the mother is carefully grooming the children with right qualities, right values to the child, mm, then the child is not um, is not at risk. I mean, of course, he's always at risk, but the child is saved from that risk because the mother is there. At least there is. It is not that the children are alone on their own, and no, at least the mother is there who is kind of imbibing these right qualities into the children.
mm,
So in that way, the mother is still the head of the family and taking care of the service. It's not just the her service is only to her husband, and whatever may happen, may not happen, she just follows this. But she also has a very big responsibility to take care of the children. If both take care, it's well and good. At least the mother, if she takes care, yeah, because that's why she said she's also the first teacher.
yes, first guru.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, in that regard of karma, maybe it is the karma for the child also to see that suffering. Means I can understand in
Yeah,
that.
one way to avoid, I mean, one way to just understand this is the blunt truth of karma effects. Yeah, but when we talk about humanitarian, we cannot leave them at karma. It's your karma, just you suffer. Rather,
Mm,
what we do is we still, within the given possibility, still try to. It is just like you are in a, no, not you. A cow is in a field, yeah,
mm,
and it start raining, and when it's raining, then the cow gets wet, but cow can also take shelter of some small roof which is on one corner. Yeah,
yes.
or at least you can prepare such a corner for giving shelter. If not, a whole roof can be covered with whatever
Mm,
capacity we have, or yeah, with that.
yes, Prabhuji.
But I mean, it's very tough. Yeah. So this is what is very important. We should always have compassion towards those who are genuinely struggling through these phases of life.
True, Prabhuji.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Nice question. Of course, I don't know to what extent I could answer,
Thank
but
you, Prabhuji. I mean,
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, it is always nice to have our thoughts
yeah.
means shared and then get a good view, a different view from everyone in the group. It is always nice and a great learning experience. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. And this chapter is really, really very good, Prabhuji. And I missed that I should have learned this before.
Yeah. Let's rewind our life for let's say 150 years back. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? No. Then thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नंदकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Small announcement.
Rupa is there?
Yeah. You all aware of this Ukraine problem, and some of devotees are already suffering. And actually, since quite some time, me and Prabhuji is thinking how we can help who are in Ukraine. So somehow that today morning we came to know some post. So His Holiness Niranjan Swami, who is GBC head for Ukraine, he is supporting, and he is in contact with the devotees and supporting the for their needs, as well as Badrinath Swamiji. He is also contact with the Kyiv temple. At the moment in the Kyiv, all the devotees are staying in the Kyiv temple basement because they have 2 floors of basement luckily. So all devotees are accommodated there in the basement. So there Kadambavanan Prabhuji, who is executor of 500 companies in Ukraine, he is currently staying in Ukraine without leaving the country. Even he sent his family to the out of this country, but he is still staying in the country to support the devotees who are in Ukraine. So they are collecting the funds to to support the devotees who are in the staying in the Ukraine, as well as who wants to come out of the as a refugees out of the country. So if you, I'm a little hesitate to ask also to for donations, because just this month you all has donated for Gaura Purnima. But there are some possibilities. I just came to know that ISKCON Berlin has announced that few devotees are going to flew to ISKCON Berlin soon in few days. So they gave some options maybe we can bring them with us few days and can feed them or support them few days. Otherwise we can send some funds so that the Berlin devotees will take care of them. Some other options also there, we can send some funds, they can transfer who are in Kyiv temple. Something like this. I came to know that if anybody of you would like to support or do some things together or something, we can do something. Otherwise also you can directly consult the person. I have some details. I think Sudama Prabhu knows that Berlin temple, Sadasiva Prabhu, you know.
Yeah.
He is now taking care of this project at Berlin. So,
very nice.
Yeah,
we'll post all this material in the group, in the WhatsApp group that we are actively communicating. And it is very pathetic to see so many people are affected. The news is quite pathetic. Conditions are very, very tough day by day. So whatever, one way or the other we are far, far better positioned. So in whatever capacities we can serve them, whenever we can serve them, it's not a one time. It may be like, okay, we may have to regularly think about this. Okay, this month I could cut so and so cost, and this we can give it to the people who are not even having food, not even having water to, not even having money to buy water. These kind of situations are, until I think it will there for some time. Hope. Let's pray that everything uh, becomes normal very, very soon. But until then, being part of us, we are also sharing the blood with all of them. So being our brothers and sisters, whatever, how we treat our own family, they're also not different. They're also our family. Whatever capacity we can do, little. I was thinking how we can cut some costs in our monthly expenses and engage. I'm just giving this idea so that maybe you can also think of these things. Maybe you have already done it or doing it, but just reiterating this. I'm also seeing if I can go to the place where I can also be of some service there. Let's see. Plans are still in mind. Yeah, so we'll anyway share all the details, and let's see whoever
Yeah.
inspired.
Unfortunately, only women and kids are allowed to come out. The men who is between 18 to 16 years are being pulled into Ukraine army. So whoever Matajis alone are coming with their kids out of the country.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. But that's good really, because last 3 years we were thinking how to, but now we have even sources how to really reach and offer our services. Yeah, I think our heart is big, our houses are also big enough. Yes, anything else before we close?
Prabhuji, will they come as a refugee in Germany, or how will they manage to come?
I think they'll come as a refugee with 3 years of time.
Okay.
This is what I heard from the news, but maybe now I'll talk to Sadashiv Prabhu. I think that's also nice if we can understand. The more important thing is we need to know that they are not some terrorists, yeah, whom we are serving. It's more important that they are really from that place. That kind of checks, if they are those checks are done, we can happily welcome services.
One small thing to add, Prabhuji, there, one other option, let's say, if not monetary, but here in Hamburg, there were many refugees, close to 200 to 300 kids who came with the caretakers, because as someone mentioned, parents are sometimes get stuck in the army and things like that. So what we have been doing the last 1 week is to collect all the clothes for those kids, diapers, hygienic articles from various families. And then we made a huge collection of all the thing and then gave it to the refugee house. So if you have a refugee house in Düsseldorf or any big city, that's also one option.
Very good. Yeah, nice idea. Yeah, that's very nice. Just to last week, I think there was one who collected all our clothes, yeah, from Duisburg. Of course, I'm sure that they will also engage those clothes and in this service, yeah. But yeah, this other articles are also very important. It's not just clothing can save, and these other articles, and especially for children, caretaking is very nice. Thanks, Sagar Prabhu. Yeah, we'll also see those options.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for bringing this point here in the Parivartan group, because in the last few days we are getting so many emails and WhatsApp messages to deposit money in some bank accounts, but the authenticity was not clear, and to whom it will go and how it will go.
Yeah,
but
we were
now,
also.
yes. But now you have, I have also seen your message in Gauradesh group that this is a very authentic by Swamiji, Badrinath Swami, and as you mentioned, all the references now, all the devotees are there are more than 1,000 initiated devotees who are there. So it's really that we have this right opportunity for serving, right people and right needy people.
Yeah.
So thank you, and we will be also, we are happy that you have shared all these informations. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever I have shared in Gauradesh group, it is like help for who are already in the Kyiv temple in Ukraine. But now I came to know that some devotees are already like coming to Berlin temple. So
Yes,
this Prabhuji also, we are very well known Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So
I'll talk
we
to him,
can,
Sadashiv Prabhu.
yes, yeah, we can directly contact him and we can
Understand the
directly, like, it is completely authenticity, like, fully.
Yeah. We'll understand the situation, and based on what are the needs, we will know clearly, and then we will discuss how to do.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, this was very important announcement, and let's see what we can do. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Have a great time. Let's catch up tomorrow anyway. वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.